How do I know if my diabetes is under control? If you've been living with diabetes, then you are more than aware of monitoring blood sugar levels. But is that the only way to really determine how well you're managing diabetes? If that sounds like you, then you have come to the right place. I am here to answer that question in today's video, so let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly, Doctor of Cause Chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine, and specialized in clinical nutrition. In this video, we are going to go over the ways that you can monitor your blood sugar from the comfort of your own home without having to stick yourself and measure your blood sugar via your blood all of the time. Then we'll discuss the 9 signs of your blood sugar being out of control. Symptoms are your body's warning signal that something is wrong. You definitely want to pay attention to these. And finally, I will be sharing with you the tests that your doctor is routinely not running on you because of the standard of care and insurance. There's more than you think, and without these, the door is left wide open for interpretation. Let's dive right on in. How can you monitor diabetes from home that involves something different than poking yourself and measuring your blood sugar level on a regular basis? I mean, obviously, that is definitely a way to do that. And depending on what type of diabetes you have, you may actually have one of the devices that already is regularly tracking your blood sugar level. So that's great. Are you watching it? That is a big question. But did you know you can also check what your blood sugar levels are or how you're managing, but you can also check how you're managing your diabetes through your urine. You can simply get a pH strip at home and you pee on it. And if your pH is off, then something could be off kilter with how you're regulating blood sugar levels. pH in the urine is really only supposed to be about a 6. So if it's more acidic than that, meaning a lower number, or more basic than that, meaning a higher number, that can be an initial sign that something is not quite right with how you're regulating your blood sugar levels. You also can, believe it or not, get a dipstick urinalysis strip. Those are what the medical doctors use to run a urinalysis on you when you go into the doctor's office. I have found these all over the internet for sale. So you could get one of those, and then all that has you do is basically pee in a cup like you would at your medical doctor's office, dunk the strip, and then wait about a minute and line up the squares with the code. And if everything is coming back with those normal colors, awesome, you're doing great. If it's not, then there are several different things you could be picking up an issue with. One of the things that you can measure through the urine are ketones. If you're not doing a good job monitoring or managing your blood sugar level, and you're not intentionally trying to be in ketosis from eating the keto type of a diet, then spilling ketones over into your urine is a sign that there is a serious diabetic problem happening. You can also spill glucose into your urine, believe it or not. So if you're measuring really high levels of glucose in your urine, it's another sign that something needs to change because you're not managing the way that you could be. Now, those types of tests also pick up infection from like a bladder infection or kidney infection. It also can pick up different types of stress on the kidneys where the body's actually spilling protein out. That can result from huge amounts of exercise, but also a kidney problem. There's some low levels of liver issues that can show up here as well. So if you're going to arm yourself with these things at home, it is good to report anything back to your doctor if it's coming outside of what's considered normal based off of the code on the bottle. Okay, so there are other ways that you can monitor your blood sugar and see how you're doing at home from a test standpoint that don't require you to poke your finger all of the time. And I'm curious, what method are you using at home currently to monitor your blood sugar levels? Go ahead and comment your response down in the comments below so I can see what everybody is doing. Awesome, thank you. Next, we're going to get into the 9 warning signals that you are not managing your blood sugar level. And these are things to definitely pay attention to. As I mentioned, anytime your body gives you a symptom, it's a warning signal that something is wrong. So these warning signals are signs that your blood sugar is not staying balanced. The first one would be excessive thirst. extra being thirsty, or also having to urinate more than usual, especially nighttime. That is part of what normally can create some awareness from the doctor that you might be struggling with diabetes if you come in complaining of these things. So if this is part of what starts this discussion about diabetes, then it's also one of the telling signs of how well are you managing your blood sugar levels at home. If you're having more thirst or you're having to use the restroom more frequently, especially at night, probably need to do a better job. Another one would be that you're hungrier than usual, but you're also losing weight at the same time. Depending on how you're managing blood sugar levels, what medication you're using, you could simply be burning through and not getting all the nutrients out of the foods that you should be, and as a result, losing weight in the process. Number 3 would be feeling just tired and fatigued constantly. This could be an indication that blood sugar levels are definitely not being maintained or balanced throughout your days. Number 4 would be that your vision gets really blurry all of a sudden and you're dealing with headaches. When blood sugar gets high, it actually can create swelling of the lens of the eye, which would be part of why you would be experiencing blurry vision. It actually changes the shape of the lens. So be very aware of anything that happens with your vision, because the eyes, guys, are one of the tissues of the body that is most sensitive to blood sugar regulation. Number 5 would be that you are developing sores that tend to heal a lot more slowly than usual. And oftentimes these are found in the lower extremities, specifically more in the foot. You guys are probably aware of foot ulcers, but if you are not, you want to be paying special attention. Part of the challenge with the feet is it's easy to damage them when you're dealing with neuropathy, which is altered sensation of your feet, because another tissue that's very sensitive to high blood sugar and not regulating blood sugar properly are your nerves. Now, number 6, I just started alluding to, but this has to deal with neuropathy. If you're starting to notice like pins and needles, tingling, numbness in your hands or in your foot, and like the whole hand, it wouldn't just be one, specific area, which would be more related to a nerve root. This is what they call glove and stocking or sock distribution, meaning your whole hand or your whole feet. This is the beginning signs of neuropathy, which again occurs because of improper blood sugar regulation. Number 7 would be that you're developing, blisters, dryness, or just other changes in your skin. One thing that is really common in diabetics is the development of skin tags. So if you're noticing that you have a lot more skin tags than what you did prior, all of a sudden you have skin tags, then you're probably not doing a sufficient job at maintaining proper blood sugar levels. In females, number 8 would be dealing with more yeast infections, which is not a super fun thing, but yeast thrives on sugars. Hyperglycemia, high blood sugar on a regular basis, sets up just a breeding ground for yeast. So if you're having more frequent yeast infections, that also could be an indication that you need to do more to regulate blood sugar levels. And the last one, number 9, would be swollen or bleeding gums, which also set up a breeding ground for infection. Your saliva contains glucose. So the more glucose it contains, the more stressful and irritated and inflammatory producing it is for those tissues around your teeth, and ultimately sets up that breeding ground for infection. Now, before I get into the test that your doctor is rarely performing, that really can leave the door wide open for interpretation, I just want to remind you to click that subscribe button down below, turn those notifications on, that way you don't miss out on a future video. I am publishing videos every Monday through Friday, all related to diabetes, gut health, immune health, brain health. They're all related, and everything to help you achieve what I call total body mastery. So again, just click the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and you will be set. Awesome. Okay, let's get into it. What are these tests that medical doctors are rarely performing that really carry a lot of weight for interpretation as to how well are you maintaining or regulating blood sugar levels? Well, one of the first ones that is rarely ran, unless you have a doc that's super awesome. No. One of the ones that I have found that is rarely ran is your fasting insulin level. Now, when you're starting down the path towards diabetes, one of the first things that happens is that your fasting insulin level will actually increase. That happens as a result of you putting more glucose into your blood. Your body has to release more insulin to manage and bring down that blood sugar level. The more that you do this, eventually your body starts becoming resistant to insulin. And part of this happens because there's only so much sugar that the cells can take in before they're basically full. Think of it as you had a fireman delivering you a log of wood every day. You only needed the log of wood to keep your house warm and all, like, everything running for that entire day. So each day, the fireman brings you another log. Well, let's say for whatever reason, there's an overabundance of logs being cut down in the forest and they're backing up on the roadways in the forest, so we need to get them elsewhere. So now, instead of just delivering one log, the fireman is delivering two. So you put one on the fire and you stack one in the corner. And maybe this is getting more out of control, so now the fireman's bringing you 4 logs every day. One goes on the fire and you're stacking the rest up along the wall. Before you know it, eventually your house is going to be completely full of logs. That now you start stacking logs outside of the house. And now what has to happen is you lock the door. You're not going to let that fireman in. You have no room. You've ran out of room. Your house is completely full of logs. So now what the fireman does is he starts leaving the log on your doorstep. And as that gets full, he leaves it alongside your house. And as that gets full, he's starting to leave it down the roadway. What just happened is what's known as insulin resistance. So you're going to see fasting insulin go up first. And then eventually what happens is fasting insulin starts to go down. You have become insulin resistant, which is the precursor to diabetes. Now what we see happen, evidenced by the logs in the roadway and all outside of the house, is now your blood glucose level is staying high. And after blood glucose has been high for long enough, then hemoglobin A1C goes high. So the 3 of those markers that are all diabetic markers are best ran all of the time to regulate how well are you doing with managing blood sugar levels. It shouldn't just be blood sugar ever. That can change in 24 hours. And hemoglobin A1C is helpful, but somebody could already be into diabetes and not have a high hemoglobin A1C because it's the last thing that shows up. Fasting insulin and glucose respond first, and then hemoglobin A1C. So to get a good grasp, those are tests that should always be being performed. But what else should we be looking at if we're really trying to evaluate how good a job are you doing? We also need to look at your blood lipids, so your cholesterol levels and triglycerides specifically. If we get cholesterol and LDL levels that are high, but triglycerides are ideal and your diabetic markers are ideal, well, then that suggests, at least from a dietary standpoint, you're doing a pretty good job. And yeah, you're probably maintaining blood sugar levels properly through your diet. But those cholesterol levels could be high because your body's protecting you from something else. But if diabetic markers are okay and triglycerides are high, then we still know that you're consuming more carbohydrates or more bad fats than what you should be, and we should rein it in a little bit further until we get those triglycerides into a better level. And then another set of tests that is not really ran on a regular basis are the inflammatory markers, your C-reactive protein and your SED rate. Okay? They measure inflammation. If you are doing a good job and you're really avoiding things that will elevate blood sugars, then you should not be inflamed either. So if we see that maybe these are improving, your blood markers are improving, but we see your inflammation level is really high, then there's something still going on in the system. It may not necessarily be related to diet, but your body is still showing that it's stressed. Which then leads me to saying we just need to evaluate every organ system in the body so we really can see where is your level of health at. How well are you responding to whatever you put forth in motion to try to make yourself healthier? Now, if you want to really know how this whole process works or how to do this for yourself, then I want to invite you to click the description down below. Click it so it expands and you can see the links that are there. Find the 5-day health challenge and click that link. I am personally inviting you to this health challenge. Now, what's going to happen during this health challenge or by the time it's done, which believe me, it doesn't take much time out of your life and it could be a total game changer for you, is you will learn exactly how to determine the current level of your health and how you're doing at managing diabetes. And what are other underlying health issues that you have no symptoms of potentially. The sooner you can detect a problem, the easier it is to fix it. And if you're not testing, and you're not testing the whole body, then you're guessing on what do you need to do and what are you doing right now that might be actually already working. Like, we have no ability to know what needs to be done if we're not testing, we're just guessing. So by the end of the health challenge, not only will you have a clear understanding of how to determine what is causing your underlying challenges or where your current level of health is at, you'll also have a clear picture of the why behind your health being the level it is at this moment in time. And once you understand cause and level and you've got the why, then you can build a plan. And ultimately, you have a roadmap for how do you regain your health? How do you get back off of medications as it relates to diabetes, which, by the way, you totally can do. You can take back control of your health as long as it's not insulin, and you can get back off of medication. MDs won't tell you that diabetes is curable, type 2 diabetes is curable, but it absolutely is. And if you're already on insulin, then the goal would be to be on the least amount of insulin possible to regulate blood sugar levels. So just click that link down in the description below, and I will look forward to seeing you on the inside of that health challenge. I can't wait. The sky is the limit, and we've got this. I appreciate you for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless.